Live from Cool Boys Central.
You're the boss now, man. I'm boss up here.
From bat tips to bat nips, we are just cool boys revisiting Batman, the animated series, and wearing hats. This is Batman and Beyond, a Cool Boys podcast.
I see Batman and Beyond.
Greetings, Cool Boy Bat Nation, and welcome to another installment of Batman and Beyond. Beyond a Cool Boys podcast. I'm Ballard. No, you're not. You're not Ballard. Stop it.
And I'm Steve.
So cool. Oh my God. I am so giddy tonight, Steve. Tell Cool Boy Nation what happened just the other night in between episodes recording. You did what, Steve?
Well, I had a little surprise for you.
You did. You definitely did. You are a little stinker. Oh my God, you had me. You fucking had me, man. Go ahead, tell him.
Well, it was a exclusive trip to the Magic Castle.
Oh my God, it was amazing. Oh, shut up. Tell more.
Well, if you like magic, you know all about the Magic Castle.
Yes, it's exactly how it was in Arrested Development.
Exactly, actually.
It was everything. Everything you wanted. Everything anyone could have ever wanted.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's right. Steve had a special birthday party surprise. Mm-hmm. Oh my God!
All the cool boys came.
Yeah, it was a fucking magical night. It was an enchanted night. Mm-hmm. Oh, we should get in the episode, okay? So let's do it. Let's do it.
All right.
Tonight's episode is "What Is Reality," directed by Dick Seabass.
Oh, he's a good guy.
Written by Marty Eisenberg.
I haven't really heard of him.
And Robert N. Skier. This episode came out November 24th, 1992, weekday. And then March 7th, 1993, primetime.
This was I would say I agree. This was worth primetime.
This is definitely worth primetime. It also was quite the educational episode.
All the Riddler ones are. I feel like Riddler episodes are like, just because they're full of riddles, they're like all about like these little factoids and stuff. I like them.
Tonight's villain is the Riddler.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Wikipedia says, seeking to prove once and for all that his is the superior mind, the Riddler lures Batman into a riddle-solving contest inside the virtual reality of a computer game in order to save Commissioner Gordon's life.
Now, like,
in the course of solving the riddles and escaping the Riddler's traps, Batman learns that he is able to manipulate the virtual reality landscape, much like the Riddler does.
So we're recording this in 2019, and this is like 27 years later, and we're just getting to maybe something that's like the virtual reality stuff that was going on in this show. I just really liked this episode and just how they portrayed the virtual reality and just the technology. It seems to be like what they're doing is whenever there's something to do with technology, they're bringing in Robin. They're like, oh, what are the young kids up to? And they like the video games. And so Robin has to relate. And so he's the one that comes in and somehow like the smart one for these.
Let's face it. I mean, Robin, makes sense. The young ones, the smart ones, are the ones that help teach the older ones,
Well, it definitely seemed like Alfred in this episode, like, knew the riddles, like Batman.
Well, the riddles are old.
Some of them were
any
old,
schoolboy knows those riddles, Steve.
Which I did not. I was like, whoa, those are. I needed to write them down and try to get what the jokes were because I did not.
Steve,
did you?
This is the Riddler's second episode, And let's go over this batch of riddles we get in the beginning.
I'm excited.
Where does a 500-pound gorilla sleep, Steve?
They answer it, but
Yeah, what was it?
I forget. I could try to find out.
Anywhere it wants. The next riddle, what's worse than a millipede with flat feet?
What is it?
A giraffe with a sore throat. And the final riddle, how do you fit 5 elephants into a compact car?
Something about the trunk.
2 in the front seat, 2 in the back seat, and 1 in the trunk. Oh, 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 boom, 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 boom.
But
Dum, dum.
I like how the Riddler is like just instinct in the way that they're portraying him in this series is that he's just like super good at technology. The reason why he became a villain was that he was a computer programmer and got screwed over, and they pick up on that in this episode where he's basically pissed off at Batman for he's like claiming that Batman brought this to the public or that he somehow transformed it into something bigger. He's like, this was a private matter. You should have just left it alone. And Batman's like, when you try to commit murder, that's beyond private, you know?
I guess he's got a point, huh?
Oh, for sure. But I think that it's just interesting how they develop Nigma, and that Batman keeps wanting to refer to him as Nigma instead of his name as the Riddler. In other villains, he'll refer to them.
It's a form of rehabilitation, right?
I guess, but I feel like other times he calls the Joker Joker.
Well, the Joker doesn't have a name. Actually, in this series, they've mentioned him multiple times now as Jack Napier. I think there's been like at least 2 times he's been directly referenced as Jack Napier, which is a reference to Tim Burton's first Batman film.
There's other, I think Poison Ivy. I don't know. I think there's other ones where he'll refer to them as their villain names. Even Penguin.
Poison! Don't, stop poisoning, whatever. Stop with the vines, and all the weeds. No, he would say Pamela.
Yeah, he just, I don't know. I think there's somewhere he, like, what about the Penguin?
Harvey, he calls him Harvey. He doesn't really call him Two-Face, right?
I think he's done both.
He calls them these names behind their backs, but when he's ever face to face with them, he usually calls them by their human name.
I'm gonna try and keep track more often, and we'll just.
Well, good, Steve. Good time to do it at episode 48.
Yeah, well, we have 40 more, so it's not like it's gonna fucking change. We're just getting into a quarter.
It's like 14 left in this series, I think, right now in the season 1.
Yeah.
We're now watching Batman and Alfred discussing the 500-pound gorilla, millipede flat feet, and elephants in a car riddles, and they come across the numbers over and over again, right? As any schoolboy would know these riddles, right, Steve?
Mm-hmm.
We have 500, right? 1,000 and 5. Those are the numbers that show up. So yeah, why not just put them into Roman numerals? DMV. Department of Motor Vehicles. I love it. Oh, it's so amazing.
What I constantly question throughout this episode is what the F is the Riddler doing? Has he just lost his mind? Why is he telling Batman where he's going to rob something? And then later on when he puts a van full of explosives and Batman's trying to stop it, he warns Batman that it's going to explode. He should have just had it explode. Batman was trying to stop it. They would have killed him.
Seriously, yeah. He just loaded that van full of nitroglycerin and then was just like, hey, guess what's in there?
he was he didn't realize it until he totally could have killed him at that moment. Instead, he just warns him so that he gets Batman to go into this game to give him more riddles.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I thought it was because he was just having fun with Batman because he's a good foe. But it was he wanted to try to kill Batman somehow.
Almost got him, right, Steve?
Almost got him. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was very, that part didn't make a lot of sense to me. It was what is Riddler's endgame? Is he trying just to kill him in the weirdest way possible by leading him down all these weird traps, or just show off, I guess?
Right. Well, speaking of trying to kill him, I mean, that was one of those, back to this week finally, right? A Steve sponsored cliffhanger act break. Back to Steve sponsored That's right, and it's found its home there again, and it deserves to be there. Anyways,
It feels good.
the Steve Sponsor Cliff Act break this week was Batman being almost driven over by the Riddler robot driving car, and how does he get out of it?
He jumps.
He dives out of the way.
That's an easy one.
It's an easy one,
but it's kind of scary right before. You're like, how's he gonna get out?
Yep. Well, then it does it. The scene escalates, right? I mean, as you just pointed out, with the nitroglycerin in the back of it. But now we get Robin showing Commissioner Gordon what virtual reality is, and I just want to say, hey, Robin, why don't you tell us and the listeners what virtual reality is?
You betcha. Yes, sir. It's a virtual reality program. Instead of using a keyboard or joystick, you put this puppy on and enter a whole computer-generated world and interact with everything in it as if it actually existed.
The way they describe it, though, is this weird thing where he's like, my mind creates the world that like, he's able to create the steps and that whatever the Etcher, what's his name? Etcher. Is that
Escher?
Escher?
Yeah.
Or is that Riddler's mind that's created that? It was hard to tell because like eventually the whole world's just controlled by Riddler's mind, and if he's not able to focus, it all falls apart, which doesn't make any sense for because it's a computer program and should have it be programmed.
I think actually you kind of overlooked in all of that one of the most amazing industrial achievements ever done at this point is that the Riddler figured out Wi-Fi.
Oh, yeah.
He has a cordless modem line.
And not only that, he has a cordless modem line that's able to, like, send... It's basically like is like a Ethernet line or something.
It's incredibly powerful bandwidth. Large line that's like this huge cable that he must somehow run to his network that's shooting off a Wi-Fi modem. It's incredible. Oh my God, routers and everything that he must have set up for this.
Well, he's
servers.
A genius. He's not.
He is, and you were questioning how did he build a fucking Minotaur last time? This dude just created fucking Wi-Fi
for himself, just to fuck with Batman.
Just to fuck with Batman. By the way, I like how he tips Batman off to what's going on. He gives him 4 quarters and 1 penny, which they immediately break it down to police headquarters, room 101.
He's definitely relying on Alfred to help solve these puzzles.
Penny, red cent, copper, cops. And 4 quarters, heads, headquarters. And when you add them up, 4 quarters adds to $1 plus a penny, 101. Room 101. Police headquarters, room 101. It was like, wow, reach.
But like,
I would just love Batman to run to the police headquarters, go to room 101, and nothing's going on. Everything's fine.
This could have also, he didn't need to do any of that because Robin would have just woken up and been like, Batman, come over to room 101. Something's wrong,
Why didn't Robin actually just reach out to Batman when shit was going down? He kicks open the door. He realizes Commissioner Gordon's fucked. He should have just been like, hey, Batman, stop trying to solve some stupid thing for a second. Commissioner Gordon's fucked. You should be over here right now.
Yeah, I don't know. He's just full of it, I guess. Robin wants to do it all himself.
Is this an issue where Batman's not giving Robin the Palm pilots or what do they call the Palm Bat computer?
Yeah.
That like Robin really could use one. Batman, it would really help cut down on time in the emergency situation. You could actually respond faster. But he's like, no, Robin, you don't need the tech. It's cool. That's cool. I'll get the tech. It's cool. No, you got a belt, and you just use your belt to hold your underwear up. Okay.
There's a payphone. Just call it.
Figure it out yourself, bitch.
I think so.
Yeah, well, it's kind of fucked up still. It's still fucked up.
It is. You know what was kind of funny was that they kept referring to the Baxter box. Do you think because Rubik's Cube is like copyrighted?
I didn't know what they were referring to. I thought it was actually like maybe a real thing, actually.
Well, they showed it at the end of the episode that he was inside a Baxter box, but it was just a Rubik's Cube. It was just like a box with,
Oh, it wasn't one of those Chinese puzzles that Robin mentions before that?
No, that was the Chinese puzzle that also was the super easiest thing to open where you just push one. He's like, let me see. I don't know. Here you do it, and just collapse, it opens.
And we also just went past a Steve Sponsor cliffhanger act break where Batman's being shot at by these questions, asking question marks, right? Shooting little bullets at him or something, and Batman just leaves the room. That's how he gets out of that one.
Riddler's like, how do you like being what was it? They said something like being ridiculed by questions.
Oh, hey.
I love the chess game that Batman plays. It makes chess exciting. This was a very educational episode. They're showing you like the moves of a knight, you know.
Yeah. Well, next thing we get is Batman changes video game skin, right? And he turns into like a dark knight.
Yeah.
Like an actual like knight, and it's a fucking badass skin, and he rides a fucking winged horse.
Yeah. It's like, why is Riddler doing this? And Batman gets mad. Batman's like, what is going on here, Riddler? What are you doing now?
Hey, it's pretty cool, but you know the Riddler, like he gets Batman on Pegasus and whatnot. I think it's actually supposed to be Pegasus because it's the constellation. But he fucks up some other constellations, and I don't know if it's just like the animators fucked this up, or the creative team fucked this up, or if this is just supposed to be a clue that Riddler's just retarded. But Orion's belt has 3 stars, and in this fucking game, on this constellation of Orion's belt, it is 4 fucking stars. And I was just like, everyone knows Orion's belt is 3 stars. How the fuck did you fuck that up? Everyone knows Orion's belt is 3 stars, and Orion's shoulder is right shoulder is called Beetlejuice. Well, it's right. It's his right shoulder, but if you're looking at him, it's his left shoulder.
Very astute. I wasn't paying as much attention.
Well, I noticed that kind of shit because they were like, it's Orion. I'm like, psh, Orion. I've been telling my kids all about Orion. They know this shit. And then I'm all of a sudden like, what? What's going on? 4 stars on his belt?
Did you? Yeah.
Regardless of that, I love that we get this kind of like Matrix Reloaded moment, right? Where they keep duplicating themselves and fighting, and that's Batman's like trick, right?
It's a total Rubik's Cube, though, that he's trying to break open.
Yeah, but he's doing it the wrong way. He's not turning it or anything.
Well, he's listening to Robin.
Why couldn't they say Rubik's Cube? Is that can you not use that?
That's what I was asking earlier. I think it is. I guess it's like a copyrighted. It's a product. But remember when Robin basically in the beginning of the episode was like, "I'm the one that beat the Baxter's Square in 30 Baxter's box in 30 seconds." And it was like, I just need a hammer. You know, it was basically that he just broke it was the joke. And
is that what he said? I just need a hammer?
Yeah. He's like, I just need a hammer. So that was like the joke was that he just broke it basically.
That joke went past went right over my head.
But there you are finding 4 stars on Orion's belt.
I know. That's how my brain works.
That's funny.
So cool.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. Well, I love that. Batman is pretty much just like at the end, like he's like he sees Riddler all like fucked up, right? And Riddler's like totally like strung out and tied in virtual reality.
Yeah, he's like become old looking too.
His brain is fried. Like literally, his head is being like turned into a prune.
Uh-huh.
And Batman just goes, "Get him out might be a riddle no one can solve." So that's that. Yeah. And we're just going to back out of here slowly and just pretend like no one showed up.
Take him away, boys.
Yeah, really. I was just like, that's sad ending.
Yeah.
And he does it too with like Commissioner Gordon and Robin. They're like all 3 of them, and they're like, let's just not talk about this. We'll just let him be, okay?
Well, I mean, it wasn't like it was his doing or anything.
It was absolutely his doing. He looks fucked up. Look at him.
He's
all
twitchy. It's like,
dude, he's
how long did
out.
it take for him to find this place? It was like 8, maybe 2 months later or something. They finally figured out.
And watch, like in 10 years, how poignant this episode is. It's like when virtual reality actually takes over, and you have all these people like cracked out of their minds just doing like virtual reality. They all like look like that, and people are gonna be like, "Wow, Batman really called it." 1992, primetime in '93. Mm-hmm. This is a good one. I gave it 5 out of 5 boys, and it was very similar to Ready Player One. I liked it a lot.
I haven't seen
Ready Player One is also an original creative story. It's like I've never seen anything like it ever. And it had like all of these really original characters in it, and it was super cool, and I was like super enthralled. And by the way, Coolboy Nation, Coolboy Bat Nation, you can check out my review of it by checking out the spoiler cast for Ready Player One on our Cool Boys podcast channel. Where we've actually reviewed it twice. We had a moment where Felk didn't see it, and then Felk saw it, and he reviewed it then himself, and I joined that review as well.
Sounds fun.
But yeah, I gave this episode, What is Reality? 5 out of 5 boys.
Yeah, I give this one 5. 5 boys.
5 whole boys.
Five boys.
Wow.
It's this was a fun one. This is one of the ones that for me just lasted in my memory, I guess. Just the whole playing with the virtual reality and getting lost in it, and the live chess, and dividing yourself. It was just a really good episode that had a lasting effect on me personally. So I
love the visuals of this episode a lot, Steve. I thought it was very trippy, and it had a very lasting impression as well with me, and I enjoyed watching it again. It was just really cool. It's just like, wow, they really go there. I mean, they really make it, abstract.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they had things like melt, very Dalí-like. And I like how they did the Mac the Knight kind of moon thing. When he just all of a sudden his moon, like he turned to a moon face and he kicked up and the moon went under the horizon. Yeah, and I love fucking whenever you can make people part of the chessboard. I don't know what it is, but I love making people part of chessboards and shit. It's just great.
It's fun. Great bat stuff.
Great bat stuff, Steve. And thanks again, Steve, for the wonderful, amazing surprise birthday party. Oh, I was so blown away, and it just, you know how to work me, man. You just, I'm pretty sure you had this planned before last week when everything went down in the episode.
Yeah.
I can't imagine you just sprung it all of a sudden to make me feel good, because you know how I like it. If money's spent on me, I get happy, and that's all I need. So I really appreciated that. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
Okay, cool. All right, good.
Yeah.
Well, great bad stuff, Steve.
All right.
Cool Boy Nation, tune in next week. Same Cool Bat time, same Cool Bat channel. Cool Boy Bat Nation, be sure to let us bat know what you bat thought of What is Reality, or what your favorite bat episode is by bat emailing us at batmanandbeyondcoolboys@gmail.com. New episodes come out every Tuesday. Also, check out our other great Cool Boy Central content with the Cool Boys podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Patreon. Be sure to like and subscribe to the Cool Boys and review us on iTunes. Also, donate to us on Patreon. It only costs $1, and you will receive special access to content too hot to air. You can find the Cool Boys on Patreon at www.patreon.com/coolboyspodcast. Thank you for listening. Stay cool, Cool Boy Nation.
Boy Nation.
Until next time, it's Bizees from Ballard. No, we're hearing that again, Steve. Oh my God, you're
Bada
Steve.
boom, bada bing.
Oh.
And that's Bizees from Steve.
Oh no, are you mad now?
No, I just...
Did I forget your birthday?
No, I just spent a lot of money. I'm just thinking about all the money I spent on you.
Oh, I really appreciate it, and I'm absolutely now your friend for sure. Don't worry. And that doesn't speak at all to my character.
So cool.
Batman
And beyond.
Oh yeah.
Batman
and beyond.